The 10 luxuries the new Pope is entitled to. Number 10. Exclusive medical service in the Vatican. One of the least visible but most important privileges to which the Pope is entitled is full and permanent access to an exclusive medical system within the Vatican walls. This is the Vatican Health Assistance Fund and, in particular, the medical clinic located in the Vatican Directorate of Health and Hygiene, a complex equipped with state-of-the-art technology, highly qualified medical personnel, and immediate access to specialists in various fields, from cardiology to neurology. Although the Pope can be treated in hospitals in Rome if he so desires, as is the case in very specific cases, in his daily life, he enjoys constant, discreet, and personalized care without having to leave the smallest state in the world. This service not only involves routine checkups or care in case of illness, it includes continuous preventative monitoring, doctors on call available 24 hours a day, immediate care rooms within his residence, and a medical team that accompanies him during his travels, even on international visits. Furthermore, when it comes to more complex procedures, the Vatican has partnerships with elite hospitals in Italy and abroad, with immediate transfers and absolute priority. This level of care ensures that the Pope is protected not only spiritually, but also in terms of his physical health, something essential considering the advanced age at which they often assume the pontificate. It is a silent luxury, invisible to most, but essential in the daily exercise of the patrine ministry. Number 9. Personal Swiss Guard and secret protection. One of the most recognizable symbols of the Vatican is undoubtedly the Pontifical Swiss Guard, a military corps with more than 5 centuries of history, whose main mission is to protect the Pope under any circumstance. Although their brightly colored Renaissance uniforms may appear merely ceremonial, behind that image lies a corps highly trained in security, tactical defense, and evacuation operations. Each member of the Swiss Guard not only swears absolute loyalty to the Pope, but also receives training in hand-to-hand defense techniques, handling modern weapons, and international security protocols. Their headquarters are within the Vatican, and many of its members play active and permanent roles in the pontiff's daily life. However, what many are unaware of is that the Pope also has an additional, confidential security detail composed of intelligence experts and agents trained in the protection of dignitaries, many of them coordinated by the Vatican Gendarmerie and in collaboration with Italian and international agencies. This system is activated not only at public events, but also during private transfers, pastoral visits, and diplomatic meetings. The Pope is protected day and night by a team that monitors threats in real time, studies escape routes, conducts pre-inspections at every location he visits, and analyzes every logistical element of his agenda. This level of security, which combines tradition and modernity, constitutes one of the most essential and invisible luxuries of the pontificate. The certainty that his life is safeguarded with the utmost precision and absolute loyalty. Number 8. Private residence within the Vatican Gardens. Beyond the walls of St. Peter's Basilica and the famous Vatican Square, there is a space reserved for the Pope's rest, contemplation, and privacy, the Vatican Gardens. Amidst these gardens, which encompass more than 22 hectares of green areas, historic fountains, sculptures, and hidden chapels, lies one of the most exclusive residences in the world, the Papal Villa, a private home designated for the Supreme Pontiff's rest, far from the administrative corridors and ceremonial noise of the Holy See. This place, which is not open to the public, offers almost absolute privacy, allowing the Pope to disconnect from the institutional rhythm and seek refuge in an environment of nature, silence, and spiritual contemplation. The residence includes austere but perfectly appointed rooms, a personal chapel, reading spaces, discreet security, and private gardens that blend with the secret passages of the Vatican. This privilege becomes an exceptional luxury for a public figure who rarely has moments of privacy. The opportunity to walk among centuries-old cypress trees, meditate in front of ancient fountains, or read on a terrace surrounded by Roman ash trees is a gift reserved only for the Pope. Occasionally, this space is used to receive intimate visits, prepare important speeches, or simply regain strength amidst a busy global agenda. It is, in short, a spiritual oasis within the smallest state in the world, yet steeped in history, symbolism, and absolute privacy. Number 7. Unlimited use of the papal helicopter. Among the most modern privileges of the pontificate is exclusive and unrestricted access to the papal helicopter, a means of transport reserved solely for the Supreme Pontiff and his closest entourage. This helicopter, usually an Augusta Westland AW-139 adapted for the Vatican, is permanently parked on the Papal State Helipad, located on the hill above the Vatican Gardens. Its function is not merely ceremonial or occasional. It is available to the Pope for transfers to Castel Gandolfo, nearby pastoral visits, emergency journeys, or even for private and rapid access to Fiumicino Airport for international trips. The aircraft is equipped with cutting-edge technology, soundproofing, direct communication with the Holy See, and comfort tailored to the Pontiff's needs, including space for reading, resting, and connecting with the diplomatic corps if necessary. But beyond comfort, this privilege symbolizes something greater: absolute mobility within and outside the Vatican, without geographical restrictions, without imposed schedules, and with the ability to be at any key point in Italy in less than an hour. No other head of state has this type of access so freely and directly. In a world where the papal agenda may include meetings in remote locations or immediate responses to pastoral emergencies, the papal helicopter represents a tool of logistical autonomy and symbolic sovereignty. The Vatican sky belongs to him. Number 6. Privileged box at opera, ballet, or concert events. Although his life is dedicated to the pastoral service and spiritual guidance of more than 1 billion faithful, the Pope also has access to one of the most refined and reserved cultural luxuries in the world: the right to a private, honorary box at some of the most important artistic events in Italy and abroad. From performances at the Teatro dell'Opera di Roma to solemn concerts in auditoriums such as the Accademia Nazionale di Santa Cecilia, the Pontiff enjoys a privileged position, surrounded by special protocols, diplomatic security, and exclusive access to the heart of Europe's artistic heritage. This privilege, although underutilized by some popes, remains a symbol of the historic relationship between the Church and the performing arts. Beyond the active presence, the place reserved for the Pope is not just any seat. It is a papal representative box, located in the most visible and honorable area of the theater, and often decorated with elements reminiscent of the papal coat of arms or the symbols of the Holy See. Even when the Pope is not in attendance, he may designate an official representative, usually a high-ranking cardinal or monsignor, to occupy the seat on his behalf. Furthermore, private concerts are held in the Vatican, organized in his honor by international symphony orchestras, sacred choirs, or artists invited by the Curia. These intimate but extraordinary events are a spiritual and aesthetic luxury, an experience in which music and faith intertwine in perfect harmony, reserved for the person who embodies the highest authority in the Catholic Church. Number 5. Right to receive and keep gifts from heads of state. Throughout the centuries, the papacy has been the recipient of gifts that have not only material value but also symbolic, political, and spiritual value. The Pope, as head of the Vatican State and leader of the Catholic Church, has the exclusive right to receive diplomatic gifts from monarchs, presidents, prime ministers, and dignitaries from around the world. These gifts are given in the context of official audiences, state visits, or interfaith meetings, and are part of a diplomatic tradition that transcends protocol. They represent the highest expression of respect between nations and international recognition of his stature. Unlike many other heads of state, the Pope is not required to return the gifts or turn them over to the public treasury. He can keep them as Vatican property or assign them to museums, archives, and private collections. The secret archives and the Vatican Historical Museum house thousands of these objects, from illuminated manuscripts of European emperors to African musical instruments, from ivory sculptures donated by Asian countries to ceremonial staffs, works of art, reliquaries, embroideries, and ancient thrones. In modern times, military decorations, peace medals, unique editions of sacred books, and even symbolic garments such as ponchos, guayaberas, or traditional cloaks of indigenous peoples have been added. While some popes have chosen to display them publicly as a testament to dialogue between cultures, others have preferred to keep them in more private settings. This unique right is not merely a decorative luxury, but a material expression of the respect the world pays to the Vicar of Christ and to Vatican diplomacy. Number 4. Private kitchen with personal chef in the Vatican. Although the Pope is a spiritual figure, a symbol of humility and service, he is also head of state, and as such, enjoys a very special right. that of having a private kitchen within the Vatican, staffed by exclusive personnel and a chef assigned directly to his service. This kitchen, located within the papal residence, either in the Apostolic Palace or in the Casa Santa Marta, depending on the pontiff on duty, is not simply a functional area. It is a space where every detail is taken care of: fresh ingredients, dishes tailored to the Pope's health, regional traditions, and personal preferences. The papal chef is not just any cook. He is a carefully selected professional, often with international training and experience in haute cuisine, but also with the discretion and tact necessary to serve the most observed man on the planet. In addition to preparing daily meals, this kitchen must be ready to accommodate diplomatic visits, private lunches with cardinals, special liturgical celebrations, or meetings with international delegations. On each occasion, the menus are tailored to protocol, liturgy, and the season of the liturgical calendar. In more informal settings, the chef may even replicate recipes from the Pope's childhood or typical dishes from his home country, as a gesture of emotional closeness. The Vatican also has a private wine cellar and a small network of exclusive suppliers, including bakeries, organic gardens, and cheesemakers. This level of culinary attention, although rarely seen, is a daily luxury that combines tradition, nutritional care, and excellence, allowing the Pope to maintain health and balance amid a life marked by pressure, demands, and solemnity. Number 3. Access to the Vatican Secret Library. One of the most extraordinary intellectual privileges of the papacy is unlimited, direct, and unrestricted access to the Vatican Apostolic Library, including its most restricted section, the so-called secret library. This term, far from implying mystery in the popular sense, comes from the Latin secretum, meaning private. It is an archive reserved exclusively for the Pope, where confidential documents, historical correspondence, treaties signed between the Holy See and world governments, and personal writings of pontiffs from past centuries are preserved. No other head of state possesses anything comparable, a millennia-old repository of theological, political, diplomatic, and cultural wisdom at his fingertips. Here lies the living history of the Church and much of the history of the world. The Pope can directly consult texts that are not available even to authorized researchers, original papal bulls, handwritten letters from emperors, documents from the Council of Trent, missives from Martin Luther, secret agreements signed with European monarchs, records of inquisitions, private diaries of medieval popes, maps of the New World prior to its geopolitical division, and illuminated codices that have never been digitized. If he wishes, he can request the translation, analysis, or restoration of any piece with absolute priority. Furthermore, he has the power to authorize or restrict access to parts of the archive. This right is not just an intellectual luxury. It is a spiritual and geopolitical responsibility that allows him to understand the errors, glories, and lessons of the past with a depth unattainable by any other leader. It is the privilege of reading time from the most hidden pages of history. Number 2. Exclusive use of the uniquely designed armored Popemobile. Among the most visible symbols of the modern pontificate is the Popemobile, a vehicle specially designed to transport the Pope safely, visibly, and solemnly. Although there are several models adapted to different contexts, the most emblematic is the armored Popemobile, manufactured in collaboration with elite automotive manufacturers such as Mercedes-Benz, Fiat, and Toyota, and modified under strict Vatican standards. It is a one-of-a-kind vehicle, combining cutting-edge technology, military-grade armor, real-time connectivity, satellite communication systems, and personalized comfort. Its design allows the Pope to be seen by thousands of faithful during audiences and processions, yet protected by bulletproof glass, thermal cameras, and reinforced structures. This vehicle is not just a means of transportation. It is a tool for symbolic and geopolitical projection. It is designed to operate in both the narrow streets of historic cities and modern highways, and can even be adapted for extreme climates. Furthermore, each international trip by the Pope involves the advanced shipment of the Popemobile via special cargo planes, with Vatican personnel responsible for its assembly and safety testing in each country visited. Only the Supreme Pontiff has exclusive access to this vehicle, and his presence in it transforms the vehicle into a mobile extension of the Vatican. Beyond technical luxury, it represents the balance between pastoral closeness and strategic protection, between the simplicity of the pastor and the dignity of the head of state. On each trip, the Popemobile conveys a message. The Pope is present, accessible, but also protected by a structure designed to serve his mission without compromising its integrity. Number 1. Right to issue coins and stamps bearing his face. Among the oldest, most symbolic, and exclusive privileges held by the Pope is the sovereign right to issue coins and official stamps bearing his own face. This privilege, not shared even by many modern heads of state, is linked to the Pope's status as absolute monarch of Vatican city-state. Through the Vatican Mint and Philately, Euro coins, approved by special agreement with the European Union, are minted each year, as well as commemorative postage stamps that circulate internationally and are coveted by collectors and historians alike. In each new issue, the Pope's face appears carefully profiled, accompanied by the papal coat of arms, liturgical symbols, or scenes related to key events of his pontificate. The pontiff not only has the power to authorize these designs, but also to determine the iconographic motifs, the materials used, from copper to silver and gold, and the exact amounts to be distributed. Furthermore, Vatican coins, unlike others, are not merely symbolic. They have legal tender throughout the Eurozone, although their everyday use is rare due to their numismatic value. Papal stamps, on the other hand, often accompany letters and official documents from the Holy See, but they also celebrate liturgical anniversaries, canonizations, apostolic journeys, and world events, where the Pope represents the spiritual voice of millions. This power of issue is not simply a ceremonial gesture. It is a manifestation of full sovereignty and a millennia-old tradition that reminds us that, at the heart of Rome, there still exists a throne with the authority to stamp its own image in history.
Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Give it a like, comment your thoughts, and share this video with your friends and family.